So I was thinking to myself, I don't know who I think I am, but I love the confidence. The decision that I've made to just suddenly take on so much has been very revealing to me. Um, like what I'm capable of, the more work that I take on, the more organized I'm becoming because I don't have time for play. Um, I don't think I've given up like alcohol for the rest of my life, but I've not had time to drink because I have the worst hangovers in the world. So the one time that I did go out, I was drinking ginger beer and lemonade. I had a great time with my friends. I woke up the next day, no hangover, got back to work. My calendar is color coded. I'm in the past 45 days, I've started two podcasts. One is called Hair Therapy, which is a podcast that kind of inspires discourse between clients and stylists in the beauty industry. I've noticed so many people on TikTok who are so unhappy with their services. They may love their hair, but they're so unhappy with their services. And I'm just speaking to the fact that you don't have to choose. You can love your service and your experience. And that prompted me to create the podcast Becoming the 5-Star Stylist, which is a funnel to my 5-Star Stylist program, which is it's almost like charm school for hairstylists. So teaching them everything outside of hair that enhances the client experience and also makes being a hairstylist more fulfilling because it can be so exhausting. So, podcast program. I said I was over dating, but somehow dating is not over me. So I'm doing that in the midst of everything when I can. Definitely not going out of my way for it. Growing out my hair, trying to come up with a new curl regimen. I'm not having a good hair day right now because did my steps out of order, but I'm doing my best just to look decent enough because I have to go get my hair cut in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to finish this up, but this is going to be a day in the life. I'm going to go get my hair cut and then I have to go to the studio. So join me on the journey. So I got out the house. My hair is decent enough. I'll be okay. But I got to thinking. I wore this jacket when I went to Europe last year. It's one of my favorite jackets. And it made me think about my friend. I mentioned in another video that she passed away last month. And she and I, along with our friend Clayton, we all went to Europe together. But I just remembered a story of when we were leaving Paris. I got sick in Paris, and so I was pretty much useless the last 2 days. And our friend Clayton was headed to London, and she and I were headed back to America on separate flights. And I just remember her confirming that we were in Terminal 1 leaving Paris. And Paris de Gaulle is like an enormous airport with multiple terminals in like driving distance apart from one another. And she confirms that we're both in Terminal 1. Well, as it turns out, we were not in the same terminal. And traffic is horrible. So we're moving super slow. We're getting in there only for me to discover that I'm at the wrong terminal. But I have to make sure that she's okay because she was not able to get around by herself. As far as like pulling this heavy luggage and walking long distance. So I had to make sure she was okay. So literally when I'm in go mode, nothing is impossible. And so I am like pretty firmly having people help me. Do you speak English? Est-ce que vous comprenez l'anglais? And I got someone to help. They direct us to where to go. I get her seated in the section where like immobile people can sit, because she couldn't walk long distances. And I talked to this guy who was very handsome, beautiful, blonde. He was black with blonde hair. And I was like, she needs to be on her, like, I need you to tell me that you are going to make sure that she gets on the plane and make sure she's okay. And it was like it was above me. Like, I didn't have time to be cute. I just needed everything to work out. Once I felt comfortable enough, I request a new Uber. She's in Terminal 1. I have to get to Terminal 3. I run to my Uber, sit in traffic. I'm watching the clock. I'm so anxious. The beautiful guy with blonde hair tells me, oh, you're not going to make your flight. You've missed it. I'm like, okay, just tell me where to go. So I get there to Terminal 3. It is pandemonium. Thankfully, I was Comfort Plus, so I had priority boarding. And so I was able to bypass one of the crazy lines for check-in. From there, though, it's, I don't know if it's customs or what, but when you're flying internationally, they got to look at your passport. And so I get through that line. It's insanely long, moving super slow, but miraculously, this guy says, anybody with an American passport, follow me. I'm like, are we about to get in trouble? But he brings us to a shorter line. And so I get through that. And from there, I'm running. I'm running the entire time. I mean, I'm running through the airport. By the time I get to my gate, they're boarding, but it's a shuttle, so they're getting on a bus. And had I not run, had I been, I don't know, 3 minutes later, and that bus door closed, I would have missed my flight to America. Several people told me I was going to miss it. My Uber driver, the guy at the airport, the ETA on my GPS, all said I was not going to make this flight. And the purpose of this story is I got my homegirl home, and I got on that plane. I ran up to the line. I cut in front of everybody. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but I got in front of everybody. I just had to make sure I was on the plane. And no one said anything. It was the weirdest thing. So I got on the plane, and I was able to breathe. It was the craziest thing. But my point is, you never know just how close you are to success. You never know just how close you are to achieving your goals, regardless of what anyone says, regardless of what you think, regardless of what it looks like. If you push and push and push, at least you know at the end of the day that you gave it your all, even if it doesn't work out. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I was going to give it everything I had to make sure that this black butt was on that plane. And as it turns out, I made it. I was very winded. I was very tired. But all that being said, I made it. And to connect that to what I was saying earlier, as far as who I think I am, I'm giving it all I got. I'm giving it all I got. I have some very, very ambitious goals for 2025, and I want to achieve them. And I am enjoying leaning into and going as hard as I've ever gone in my life, in my career, because there are things I want. And if I don't get it, it will not be for lack of trying. That's the takeaway here. Anyway, like I said, my hair is decent enough. I'm headed to get a haircut, and then I'll be at the studio soon. It's kind of funny when I get a haircut and my hair is wild. It's like, did you? But it's the face. It's like when bald people go get haircuts. But while I was in the chair, I got some amazing news I can't wait to share. So just stand by. I was minding my business when I find out my brand new podcast, Becoming the 5-Star Stylist, is available on Apple Podcasts, in addition to being available to watch exclusively on YouTube. So if you could just head on over, rate this podcast 5 stars, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, show me some love. All right, so now I'm about to head into work and do that whole thing, but it's been a good day. I'm very, very happy to be live on podcasts again. This is my second podcast. Good Vibes with Robert Alexander did amazingly. And it's so cool. Like, over the years, I've learned how to do so many things, and I'm applying it all with what I am spearheading right now. So, really, really cool stuff. So I have 2 wigs and some hair extensions I need to color. And that probably sounds like a lot, but I promise it's actually not. However, for me, it's always a matter of willpower. The work is not hard, but it's creative and it can't be forced. And that's the challenge that I come up against, or that I face often. This is all technical work, but it's creative work, and I have to combine the two. Today I'm feeling very, very left brain, and I need to tap into my right brain creative side. But I'm here. It's only 12:30. I have a yoga class in 8 hours, and I should be able to knock all of this out within 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna give myself, and that is generous. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm also going to spam everyone I know and tell them to subscribe to my podcast, because hello, of course. Okay, got in my groove, got organized. As it turns out, I have 6 pending wigs to be finished, which is great for me. Just got a lot of work. Got a lot of work to do, but the great thing is that I got organized. So I wrote down all 6 clients who have wigs coming, prioritize them based on who ordered first, who needs what can be done today. Made my big job a smaller job, always a black job. And got some motion. So this is my handy dandy sewing machine. I'm about to get started, and this is going to happen really, really fast. It's 1:40 and I'm prepping to start, and I'll tap back in when I'm finished with the first wig. Watch how fast this goes. Okay, I don't remember what time it was when I started, but I've been stopping. I want to say it might have been 1:40, and I'm pretty much done with this wig. I bleached and toned 3 closures. In the meantime, I had a mini wig tutorial for one of my colleagues. Yeah, I've gotten quite a bit done, so I'm pleased with my timing. Once I finish this, once I finish this, I have to prep the hair that needs to be colored this Saturday. We'll see. I'm not gonna force myself to leave without getting enough done, but yeah, I'm making progress. I'm also telling everyone in my phone to rate my podcast, please. So yes, all is well. And I decided that the lunch that I had earlier is going to be my last meal before yoga, because I want to be good and digested, but also energized for the class, and hydrated, most importantly. So I'm giving myself at the latest 6 o'clock to go ahead and get out of here and go shopping for the class. I need a new yoga mat because I don't think I have one anymore. And then I have to re-shower because I would hate to be stinking. So clean sweat only. And I had to fill my bottle with ice water because I'm gonna need the coolest water I can imagine in that class. But okay, so this is what it's like sewing a closure down. And then I'm gonna reinforce it with my sewing machine here. And I'm gonna fill in this little space with a couple tracks and the wig is finished. Yeah, see you at yoga. So, I finished my wig work for the day. This is not a great angle. Hi, there we go. And now I just have to do some color. It's important enough for me to work in sections and in segments and do one thing at a time. So not like making wigs, doing color, one thing at a time. So I colored all my closures, prepped all my closures, made my wig that's due. And then I have two. Oh, there's a 7th client I forgot about. So I have to prep her hair for Saturday. And then I have to prep a closure. It's already been, the knots have already been bleached. Please hold. Because the girls out here using the T3, is that what it's called? Wella T18 to bleach their knots. I use Redken and Pookie, my Pookie. Like, look, where's a knot? Ignore my ashy dry hands, child. Listen, these hands are the key to success. But bleach these knots. Got that together. Anyway, though, this has to be lightened to a blonde in addition to the roots being bleached, the knots being bleached. So gonna do that, and then also prep some extensions that have to be redone for a set of microlinks that I did a couple weeks ago. She wants to go lighter. So, excuse me, moving on to the next stage, which means putting my sewing machine away and converting this little sewing room into a color lab, which is why I want a bigger space so I could do more things without having to like transform my room into a whole new room. Now to do some color. Right, so it is 5:14 and I pretty much got everything done that I wanted to get done. I prepped for 3 clients who I would ideally get in this week. And so I just need to take the plastic out of this wig so that, you know, when she comes in, it's just ready to put on. Yeah. So from here, I need to go to like Marshall's or whatever, go buy me a little yoga mat, fill up my water bottle, and kind of just sit tight. I kind of want to just like, I almost said premeditate, but yeah, that's an interesting word. I want to like meditate prior to the class and just be in like a really good space. I have always felt like yoga was more than just physical, you know. It's like you're finding your inner peace, you're exploring your inner self, so to speak. It's like it's about spiritual connectedness, I think. And so I just want to be in a good zen mode and not be like in a hustle bustle mindset walking into a yoga class. It doesn't feel conducive. So yeah, should be getting out of here hopefully within about 15 minutes. And then, okay, maybe a little more because I need to straighten up my room for my new client tomorrow. But yes, we almost there. So fun fact, I hate Marshalls. It is just a bunch of stuff. It's so much stuff. But I know I can get a yoga mat for very, very cheap. So I am enduring my clutter phobia. Excuse me. And also, there are some great finds in here. It's a mess, but I feel like this place is made for, excuse me. I feel like this place is made for people who like to hunt, to forage. Like it's about the hunt. I want the store that has 3 things and maybe 5 colors, and that's it. Make it easy for me. But at the same time, shout out to these yoga mats. It's not that disorganized after all now, is it? Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting sleepy. I'm getting tired. I don't know if I would do an 8:30 yoga class again, but hopefully I'll feel rejuvenated enough to get it done and rested enough to get some good sleep afterwards. But I bought myself a yoga mat for $10 and an oversized pair of pants to put on top of my yoga clothes so that I'm not cold when I leave. Oh, excuse me. So at 6:19, class is at 8:30 p.m. I'm almost home. Dinner is off the table. I've been drinking a nice amount of water today. And I just need to freeze some of my alkaline water for ice. And I'll be good to go. Yeah. And maybe I'll even have time to get a little nap in, because sheesh. Well, we're about to make it happen. Had to be cute. I'm gonna be a sweaty mess once I'm finished. All right. Yo. It was hard. There was a moment, and I don't know if they were playing with the audio or if I was losing my hearing. I was so hot. Everything was getting muffled. I was like, I think this is the moment where I pass out. I think this is that moment. But the lesson of the day that I talked about earlier is just keep going, keep pushing. And I heard something by Joe Dispenza. If you don't follow Joe Dispenza or listen to him, long form YouTube content, 2 hours of amazing information. Right on the other side of giving up is when you excel. And I was gentle with myself because I was about to pass out. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm like, you got 2 options. You can either leave or you can stay. So I stayed. And I just remember the instructor who was amazing. Her name is Ashley. I'm so glad I got to meet her because she's going to be on hiatus for about 8 weeks teaching in Colorado. She said, just remember to breathe. I'm like, I got you. I could do that. One thing about me, I always breathe, okay? So I'm just breathing, pushing through. And what I love about Bikram yoga is that it's designed for you to withstand. And so just when I was getting defeated by the series of poses, we started doing things where we reached down, put our heads towards the ground, and the blood went back into my head. And I'm like, yes, life force. Yes, I am alive. And it was amazing. 2 things though. So I talked about my friend Sade, who I almost missed my flight for in Paris. I also told you that she passed away last month. So her memorial was not even 2 weeks ago. It was on November 2nd. And during her memorial, at the very end of her memorial, a violinist played 2 songs, Rihanna, Lift Me Up, and I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. 2 beautiful songs. Both tore me to shreds at the funeral, at the memorial. At the start of this yoga class, Lift Me Up plays. And I'm just like, okay, that's beautiful. I love that. At the end of the class, we're all laying down flat. I Will Always Love You comes on. And I'm so glad that I was sweaty because nobody could tell I was crying in the middle of the yoga class. And that's how my grief has been. I have not stopped moving, even in the midst of crying. There were days where I was just brushing my teeth, putting my shoes on, pulling my pants up, showering, and crying. Just pouring out my emotions. And losing my friend was the first time I had to go beyond myself. I couldn't deal with this on my own. I had to rely on my loved ones. And so to be surrounded by people who are all passionate about wellness and be able to cry in this room, it was just therapeutic. Like, this was amazing. It was bigger than I thought it would be. Even though it almost took me out, I am ready to go back. I loved it so much. I've been looking for some place to be my third space. Work, home. And I like yoga. I like the people. I like being sweaty. I like giving sweaty hugs to sweaty people. It was just really beautiful. And I was so tired. I was so tired. I am so hot that literally my windshield is getting foggy. Okay, let's do something about that. I'm so glad I did it. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And as someone who has recently distanced myself from alcohol, to go and do things with people that don't require drinking was nice. I felt the sense of belonging without having to drink alcohol. And, you know, it's not a thing of like alcohol abuse, but I think most millennials and just young people in general enjoy drinks. It's a social thing. So being able to find something outside of drinks and cocktails and unhealthy things, I feel good about that. I'm feeling a lot of feelings, so I want to just stop this video so I can feel them. But what I will say, the first word on the top of the pile is just gratitude. Immense gratitude. The weight of my life is taking shape. It's above me. And I could not have orchestrated this any better. I keep saying somehow I'm okay, and I just lost my friend, but everywhere I go, she's there. And I could cry right now, but I'm not sad. I'm just like, hey girl. I don't even know if I put this in the video, but if I wanted to, I could not get away from her. She is woven into every square inch of my life, and I'm grateful for that, because even though she's not physically here, I still feel such a strong presence. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. I'm gonna just take a moment, but I'm heading home. This has been a day. Thank you guys for spending the day with me. It's been a beautiful day. It's really been a beautiful day. I've hit all my marks, and I'm really proud of myself for that. Thank you for watching.